Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Today I have a very unusual and exciting project I want to share with you guys today. I have a friend of mine, his name is Randy Neely. He's a very good scratch build modeler, does all kinds of special stuff, and he gave me two kits that he wanted me to paint and share with you guys today. These are two 1946 hypothetical tanks. That what would have happened that if the war would have continued on and we ended up having to have fought the Russians in World War II. So this is like an amalgamation of a Sherman with a Panther lower chassis, lower back hull, as well as another Sherman here that's been upgraded. Both have the long barrel 75 Panther barrels on it. So just some unusual some tanks that I'm going to show you more in depth in a few minutes here. But then we're going to go ahead and paint them all up and get them ready. So let's get started on it. The first model we're going to take a look at is the Panther-Sherman, we'll call it. What this has done right here is this is taking a Sherman hull and changing it out, having Panther rubber road wheels on it. It still does maintain the drive sprocket and return roller of the Sherman. It has Panther tracks on it, which we've used Fruley model on it as well. But then it's been greatly up armored with lots of applique armor on it. We've got this front armor that's all bolt-on armor, as well as it has the Panther 75 on it as well, with the mantlet, I believe, from the F, and then all that's been up armored as well. It's got a new cupola mounted on top of it, and then plus the whole back of the Sherman has been changed around to adjust for the recoil from the Panther having such a long recoil that this would all be open up. Also, Randy went ahead and turned this to the side here as well, mated a Panther engine deck onto it. So you've got the Panther engine deck right here, but still with parts of the Sherman mixed into it here. And then plus, move this out a little bit, we have our exhaust system, which kind of mimics the way the Panther is, plus with this special muffler on the back here, which is nice. We left that separate so we can do the weathering on it with the rust effect on it as well. And you can see how how thick the extra armor, add-on armor was going towards the back to protect it. Also, on the front of here of the turret, you can see all the extra add-on applique armor to really thicken this up on on both sides of the turret as well. So I'm just going to give you kind of like a little 360 view of the entire model before we start our paint job on it, just to see how nice that the vehicle came out. And he took a lot of extra time and effort. He put all the photo etch clasps on it. Of course, the grill grates on it. There's even some, all the grab handles are all metal, turned brass for the antenna mount. We will put an antenna on. The other one has the antenna already on it, but we just haven't done that one yet on this one. And the tracks are going to come off. We're going to paint those individually. Those, like I said, are the Fruley tracks. So let me show you the next vehicle. So our second vehicle that we're going to work up is another Sherman. This one is based with the Easy 8 chassis and lower suspension on it. That remained the same on this. Now he greatly up armored the sidewalls. Did the same thing on the front with the bolt-on armor that we can slide back on and off if we need to. Also, this one has the Panther main 75mm gun as well, but it has the mantlet from just the regular Panther G. Kind of rotate this around here. Kept the same cupola as the regular Sherman, and also he cut up the back here as well to put the longer box for the recoil on it, just like the other one as well. I'll kind of give you a little 360 of this whole model too. And he had a few of the parts, like some of the light guards and most of this grate right here. This was all 3D printed to get that little part in there. This kit also has the up-armored extra pieces on the turret to give it a lot of extra protection, and a little escape hatch on this side as well. So like I said, we'll just give you that 360 view around, and then we'll get to our painting. Before we go any farther, I just want to answer this question because I know I'll probably get this. Is these are completely fictional tanks. They don't exist. They were just the way what he thought what some 1946 type vehicles would have turned into, possibly with a an abundance of like Panther factory parts and then Sherman parts and just kind of mixing them all together. So these are just lots and lots of hours of scratch building and construction using green putty and styrene stock and of course metal barrels, photo etch, and metal tracks on it. So like I said, these are just something made up, but I thought it'd be really cool to share with you. And so let's get to the painting. First step, I've stripped the ferrule tracks off the body of the vehicle, and now we're just going to give them a base coat of NATO black. Now that the black paint has dried on here, we've shot it with a coat of dull coat to seal that paint in, and we're going to put just a light mist coat of like a real dark red-brown NATO black mixture, just to kind of give it a little bit of a tarnished effect to it, just very, very light. With the tracks now painted, we've pulled the turret off the top of the hull, and we're going to spray the entire model now with a black coat, and what that's going to do is going to be our first shadow coat. And since we have the paint out, we're going to go ahead and paint both models with the shadow coat right now. We're going to start off, we're going to paint the base coat of this vehicle, the Tamiya XF60 dark yellow. It's supposed to be kind of a mixture that they had, German paint left over. We'll change it up a little bit because we're going to do kind of like a geometrical disruptive pattern on it. Something completely different, but that the Germans were using on Panthers late part of the war. Okay, we're going to start masking off this and painting it. And I know this may look a little weird right now, but it's a multi-step process that hopefully if I planned it out right, it's going to come out right. It's going to be a disruptive paint scheme, but it's only going to do the surfaces going up and down. None of the top surfaces are going to have it. It's going to be a solid green color. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go inside and paint these areas with brown. And it doesn't matter if it gets overspray on the top here because we're going to mask it off again and then cover up with all the green. But this will get us a nice base, and then when we pull, we're going to, after we put the brown on, we're going to mask over that, fill everything in with green, and then when we pull it off, we should have a green base with yellow stripes with big thick brown stripes in the middle of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the brown on now, and then we'll mask over that again and then go on to the next step. Okay, that's what the look I'm going for right now. Now we're going to take our blue masking tape and fill in all of the brown areas on the turret and on the hull. Well, I pulled the tape off, and it actually turned out to work just like I thought it was going to. I was a little nervous there for a while that I was going to get a lot of mess ups, but this was just a disruptive pattern kind of based on some stuff that I saw, you know, What If and some Panther stuff. And they had a crossover that I thought was kind of cool looking, so I thought I would duplicate it here. Also, when it came to the road wheels, we did opposites on each side. So we did brown drive sprocket and outer wheels on this side, and then on this side we did green on the outside. And I threw a set of tracks on here just to show you what the way the tracks would sit on there too. We have to do some more weathering on that as well. Now I just popped this into place too so I wouldn't lose it, but we're gonna go ahead and rust this up. And so it'll pop right back in. And we have to paint the tools, of course, and then do all the weatherings. One other thing too, which you obviously will probably have noticed, is that the camouflage does not go on any of the flat surfaces on the top of the deck or at the top of the turret. It was just going up on all the vertical surfaces, and that was actually a little bit more difficult to try to paint that way, because the mask and trying to get it in is just a little bit tougher trying to mask around that. But I think it turned out pretty good that way. Something completely different, and that's one of the fun parts about painting and weathering, is doing something different to kind of challenge yourself. But I do like the way it turned out. Like I said, it's totally fictional, but it is kind of based on some of the late war Panthers that were coming out in '45. So I thought it would look good. But now that we have all the paint on, let's go ahead and start weathering the kit. I'm going to show you a little bit of the weathering that I'm going to do on this. First, we're going to take our flat brush and adding just a little bit of the odorless thinner. We want to put a little coat of it down first, and this is just going to help the wash we put on flow a little bit easier, and especially having a little grime build up on a lot of the welds, because there's small little cracks and stuff that hold dirt really well. And then just taking our streaking grime, just putting it right down the edge in any of these little crack areas. And it goes on a little heavier to start, but don't forget you're going to be removing quite a bit of it with our brush, so making sure that we have a decent coat on all these little areas. Now we're going to go back and take our brush and just kind of streak it down a little bit, lightly hitting the weld seam. You can still see that some gets left behind, just enough to get a little dirt on it. And also you want to clean up these top areas as well. Also going to work on that little weld seam as well. Kind of streak down. Now it looks obviously shiny because it's still wet now, but this product will completely dry, completely flat, so we won't have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the entire vehicle now doing that. I won't spend too much time on the weathering process showing you this, because this is some stuff that I've done in quite a few of my other videos, but just kind of give it a once over on it. I'm going to come back, I'll do the whole vehicle, come back and show you what the whole thing looks like after it's set up. So here we are. Here's our completed paint job and weathering on it. We didn't want to go too heavy on it because the guy I built it for wanted to keep it, you know, kind of moderately weathered. I went ahead and put some of the regular Vallejo products on the tracks, which I have some other videos online that already show do all that. So I didn't want to bore you too long with just repetitive stuff. Did all the tracks. I do have the pin in here side too, so if we have to take the tracks off, they're easily taken off. And you can just see I kind of just went over and kind of gave it a little bit of a kind of a little grungy, grimy look. Some of the different areas. We used our Tamiya black panel liner on the vents in the back. I think that really helps to make them pop out. And then of course we used a little bit along with the streaking grime, and even used a touch of the slight amount of light rust mixed with the other stuff, so it kind of gives it a reddish brown kind of dirt. Not necessarily like a rust, but I think it makes it stick out pretty good. Give you one more 360 of it. Oh, and also we rusted up the muffler system on the back. Now to begin for our Easy 8 hybrid, I'm starting off painting a base coat of the lightest color first, and I'm going to use XF59 Tamiya's desert yellow. And that should be a nice base for us, and then we're going to go over it with two other colors. On this particular build we're going to use like a NATO green, kind of like a medium green, and then I'm going to use a black green. And the combination of the three should hopefully produce a nice camouflage pattern that's something different, but you know, possibly could be type stuff. So let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the dark yellow, and then we'll go and put those other two colors on. Okay, now that we have the desert yellow on, remember that there's only going to be a small amount of this still remaining by the time we're done with it, but I wanted to cover everything, so when I do put the two different colors of green on there, we didn't have to worry about not having that color underneath. So we're going to start off with our lighter color green first, which for this we're going to use the NATO green, and we're going to kind of put a little camouflage pattern in on it, and then go back over around it with the darker green, which we'll use black green for. Okay, now I'm going to take some black green and fill in a little bit more of the brown color, so the brown becomes smaller on the kit. Well, you can see after I went ahead and put the black green on it as well, the look that we got out of it. Kind of like it. It's something totally different that you wouldn't see on any other type of vehicle. Now, of course, we are going to do some weathering on it. We also have to paint the tools and all that, but we finally got all of the painting done. Now, after I got all the painting done, I clear coated the entire model with TS80 Tamiya's flat coat, and that's going to seal in our entire paint job, so as we go forward we can do our weathering and it won't damage the paint. So I'm going to just give you a quick little rundown on this one. I basically did the exact same type of weathering process, not very heavy on this one, just like the other one. So I didn't show in depth on that because it's exactly the same colors and same type of weathering agents. The only thing I did a little bit different on this one was that I used MIG's track wash to go over the tracks. I didn't want to have them too dirty on this one. I'll just give you one more 360 on this. Hopefully you can see how the weathering really makes like all the seams and any welds, anything like that really pop out. So I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and I hope you enjoyed looking at some other unusual modeling type subjects. From time to time, as I get unusual things in like this, I like to share it with my YouTube audience, and I hope you appreciate some other modelers, especially guys who can really do a great job on scratch building. So thank you again for watching, and please stay tuned because we have many more videos coming.